Robots Radio presents
Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast.
I'm not usually a hat fan, but wow.
Jeg vil ikke være en dagger.
I'm really sipping on that dumb bitch juice today, and
Yeah, I am. But you know what? Someday I just might grow out of that. But you will never stop being a jerk.
All chocolate cakes are good. You're a fascist.
it's hideous.
It's horrible.
It's home. Angry white boy, let's go! Hello, and welcome to Fresh Tomatoes, the movie podcast. The surprise man in your life who maybe is the start of a coming-of-age journey? No, that wasn't good. That wasn't a good intro at all.
I love that.
That was a reach.
That was
That
great.
was a real stretch.
You really went for it. I think you started and you didn't know where you were gonna finish.
No,
and I appreciate
clearly.
that. I love that for us. To be fair, while you were doing that intro, I was trying to think of what movie you're doing today. Because like I remember my movie, obviously, because I'm doing my movie,
Yeah.
and I was like listening to what you were saying, and I was trying to relate it to your movie, and then I just can't remember what movie you're doing.
I
know
mean,
I
I
watched
also
it.
was listening to what I was saying and trying to relate it to the movie in real time. So, anyway, that's Chad Ekowitz, the most patient podcast host in the world.
And that's Simone LaRue, who just keeps pulling it out of the bag week after week, like a beautiful white rabbit. Just ta-da,
Or sometimes maybe a
motherfuckers.
more bedraggled rabbit.
So, in all seriousness, what movie are you doing? Because I've completely
I'm
forgotten.
doing The First Daughter.
Oh, of course you are. Yes. Katie Holmes' rise to
Mhm.
meteoric power.
Yeah.
And then, just in case you weren't aware, I'm doing My Boss's Daughter. So this
Mhm.
is RomCom subcategory Daughter Week,
Yeah.
which is interesting.
It's interesting also because one of these movies is definitely not a com, and the other one doesn't feel like much of a rom. So I think neither of these movies were actually what I expected.
I think very much like the Power Rangers, when they join together, they become a rom-com in that respect, rather than just in their own individual. But to be fair, for both, they do have daughters in them. So
Yeah, and that was our
theme
goal.
is there.
So
Yeah, exactly. On the weirdest, I would have to say this is probably the weirdest theme that we've pulled out the bag. What do you think?
yeah, I would say the only other one that was a stretch was when we did the birthday week and we tried to find movies
Mhm.
involving birthdays, and that was hard.
That was very difficult, but we did it. There was sort of
did it.
mentions of
We did it.
birthdays in both of these.
Oh,
Yeah.
or that time we tried to do cheerleading movies, and the one was But I'm a Cheerleader, which had very little to do with actual
Yeah.
cheerleading.
Yeah, that's just us not vetting things properly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
more on us than the
We-
movies.
We're not like that now, though. We're very professional now.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Oh
that's
my
why
God.
we're. Oh God, everyone talks about how professional we are. That's our number one
Ugh.
comment on iTunes.
Just look at
professionalism.
these consummate professionals.
But you know what? I think we are as professional as these movies are good, which I guess is the whole point of the podcast. So I'm not upset
Yeah.
about it. We
Yeah.
do our job, they do their job,
Yeah.
and everyone is living harmoniously.
I have very polite friends who ask, what movies are you doing this week?
Mhm, mhm.
And I'll tell them, and they'll be like, "Are they good?" And I'm like, "No, that's the point.
That's the point.
That's the central premise of the podcast. So no, unfortunately,
Mhm. To be-
it's not good."
No, it's not good. And to be honest with you, I think the real unsung heroes of this podcast are our partners who have had to sort of bear with us. And I mean, I know Rudy is pretty good and like he has set up a boundary where he is just, not going to watch
not
every single
interested.
movie that you do,
Mm.
which I think is good. But the movies that he does watch with you, I mean, good on him. I mean, I think from my point of view, I have a new girlfriend so often that they're still in that stage where they don't want to like seem uncool and they want to be up for
Yeah.
everything. So they've had to just grin and bear it. And yeah, I feel for them. I really do.
Yeah, no, I mean that's she'll get over it. Eventually, at some point, you'll watch a movie and she'll hit her
Mhm.
breaking point and just be like, "Chad, like you're on your own for this journey. Like I can't be this person for you." And that's fair enough.
That is absolutely fine. I would never expect it. I think that's the joy and the benefit that Georgette is feeling now as being like long distance is she doesn't
Mm.
have to deal with this for some weeks, which is grand. Like she
Ugh,
saves
good
herself
for
that
her.
pain. Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for her.
Smart woman. So as we said, we are doing My Boss's Daughter and The First Daughter, which are both movies that happened. So let's decide who gets to go first. What are you drinking today?
I'm having a white blend. It's really nice.
Okay, that's lovely. Do you know what blend did it say? Do you remember?
I don't remember what like the percentages of it are or anything, but I bought this at a tasting that I went to at a
Ooh.
wine bar. And I liked it. So it's got like lovely vanilla-y notes to it. It's nice. It's
Is
called
there
the Epic
nothing?
White.
Ooh, really tough name, especially from South Africa. Really undigestible name.
It really can only work on a wine bottle, you know?
Absolutely. I think there is nothing more baller than going to a wine tasting or any tasting,
Yeah.
alcohol wise, and then buying the bottle that you really
Yeah.
enjoyed. I think that's
It's a powerful feeling. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna
mhm.
lie. Just like the moment where you're like, you know what? I will buy a bottle.
It's the best. And I think it's the closest that our sort of economic class are ever going to get to like going to an art gallery and being like, my God, that painting is so fine. I
I
must
must have
obtain
it in my
it.
home.
Yeah, this is the closest we're going to get.
Yeah.
And then we drink it away. And it's delicious.
I mean, also in like an ideal world, I'd buy bottles when I go to these tastings and then not touch them for like a year or two, as opposed to just sort of drinking them the following weekend.
Yeah, it's a special occasion bottle. I get that.
Yeah. But you know, I'll get there.
Yeah, nice. Well, I didn't have time to go to the shops today or this week.
Oh.
I was busy playing PlayStation, so it just didn't happen.
Oh, okay.
So
Then I don't feel that bad for you.
No. So I've defaulted back to the honey jack, which is always so tasty.
A classic, a killer.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess
That
I get to go
means you
first.
get to go. Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm not
Look
upset
at
about.
you.
Yeah.
No, let's get this movie out of the way.
Exactly. I mean, this synopsis is going to be short because I'm not going to.
Yeah,
go
both
through.
of these movies.
Yeah, outrageous. Okay, so My Boss's Daughter. So you have, what's his name? Tom Stansfield, who is played by Ashton Kutcher, who works for a incredibly high-powered and lucrative publishing agency. He is involved in the media department, something that he's not really interested in, and he's just dying to get into the creative space and get a more creative job within the publishing house. And he wants to go and talk to the boss, who is Jack Taylor, played by Terrence Stamp. But, you know, Tom is quite a nervous guy. He doesn't really like to speak up. He's very sort of timid and doesn't want to like take any risks. His best friend, Paul, played by John Abrams, sort of pushes him into talking about to going forward for his and doing the things that he wants to do and really pushing the boat out to get what he wants. This is also applicable to his personal life because he is in love with Jack Taylor's daughter, Lisa Taylor, played by Tara Reid. He sees her every day at work and is completely in love with her because she's super stunning, and he wants to ask her out, but he's too much of a chicken. So he arrives at work one day and the big boss, Jack Taylor, wants to actually have a word with him. So he's a bit nervous, but like he thinks this is a shot. He's really keen. So he goes to it and finds out that his best friend has kind of betrayed him. Not Paul, but his other best friend, who is not on the cast list, which is weird. His other best friend, fuck it. So but when the other best friend sort of betrayed him, it worked out for Tom because his ideas were actually shit and Jack didn't like his ideas. So his best friend got fired and, you know, Tom's safe. So Tom goes into the office, talks to Jack, and things don't go well. Later that day, he's talking to Lisa, and Lisa's basically wanting to go to a party that night, but she is being told by Jack that she has to look after his house. Somehow, in sort of like a weird miscommunication, Tom agrees to look after the house, and Lisa thinks that he has agreed to this, even though he thinks that he's going to the party with her. He arrives that night at Jack's house. Jack is there, and sort of things get cleared up that he's actually looking after the house. There is an owl there that belongs to Jack. He's a depressed owl. He doesn't fly. Tom has to feed him. This kind of stuff happens. Throughout the movie, different shenanigans ensue. For example, Audrey Burnett, played by Molly Shannon, rocks up at the house. Earlier that day, she was fired by Jack because of something that Tom said. Red Taylor shows up, who is Jack's son, who is played by Andy Richter. He's a bit of a skeezy drug dealer. He has organized a drug pickup to come to the house, but he has sort of actually fucked it up because essentially he has switched out the bag of cocaine for a bag of flour. So the drug dealer, who is TJ, played by Michael Madsen, comes around the house and threatens Tom's life. It's all going crazy. Like, the house is a mess. It's absolutely mental, and all sorts of shenanigans ensue. Eventually, though, however, Tom and Lisa have like a really nice moment together. They realize that they actually have feelings for each other and sort of hook up. That's when things continue to go badly. The house looks like it's going to be a wreck, and actually TJ sort of dies at one point, but and then comes back to life. It turns out Jack is going to come home early, so Tom has to go and fetch him from the train station. He picks him up, and it all turns out actually pretty fine until they get home. Everything's still gone to shit, and so Jack kind of stands up and is like, oh no, you're all full of shit, and kind of embarrasses himself. He gets thrown in jail for, attempted murder, and then Red bails him out. He goes and makes a passionate plea to Lisa. They fall in love, and everything ends up perfectly for Tom. He works in the creative market in the publishing house, and everything is hunky-dory. The end.
The end. What is your cliffhanger?
So it has to be this one, and it is the office scene between Jack and Tom, where he fires what's her face?
Maybe we just do a nice big trigger warning.
Yes.
Because there's a heavy use of the R word.
Yes, absolutely, guys. Give it a skip. It's probably about a minute and a half long if you want to skip that bit. But I think that really encapsulates the essence of this movie, really. Because as we have said multiple times in this podcast, comedy does not age well. And this is the perfect example.
Bad comedy does not age well.
Yeah. When you're making fun of minorities, it's never going to end up well for you.
It just... Yeah, look, I watch stuff like this, and I think, this is just very much not the kind of humor that I find funny. And,
same.
I always try to approach it like, just because it's not for me doesn't mean it's bad. But this was pretty painful. I don't love the super slapstick physical comedy. Like, a movie that is non-stop misunderstandings and comedies of errors and misfortunes. It's not pleasant to watch. It's just incredibly frustrating.
It's so annoying, and you just want to like reach out through the screen and grab these people and just shake them, because it's just
not
disgusting.
Fun.
No, it's awful. It's like I really tried with this, because I kind of remember watching this when I was a youngster and being like, oh, it's pretty funny. But honestly, like, there's just nothing engaging here. Like, it's all slapstick. All these people are awful. Like, not one of them is a good person.
I don't like any of them.
No.
I laughed at one single joke, which is, so the owl's name is OJ.
I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and then the owl flies off, and he's standing in the street. He's like, "No, OJ got out!" And you just see a group of blonde girls scatter and scream.
That was solid. That was a great joke.
Guys.
Yeah.
Someone funny was in that writer's room.
Yeah. That guy popped up for one joke, and then he was like, I'm done. I've done my bit. I can put my name on this, and I can walk away happy, because the rest of this is just terrible.
Not a fun time.
No. Look, like, as I've gotten older, I've realized that when what's his name is in a movie, it's the guy, the one friend of Audrey, when he comes around, David Kushner. When David Kushner's in a movie, I just know I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's just his vulgar brand of comedy is just not for me.
This was just a very specific point in time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that we as like a society have moved past it.
Yeah, exactly. You're so right. And yeah, I mean, like I can understand why potentially misunderstanding comedies are funny, because it's like, oh, what a bunch of dopes, they don't
Yeah.
get it. But it's like, no, guys, we're trying to teach good communication here, and this is easily avoidable. Like you could understand if it was like a lot more complicated, and
Yeah.
but this was just really easy, and it was, and you're like supposed to root for this guy who just can't speak up for himself and is just like such a like a little wimp windbag.
Yeah.
And
He has very few, if any, redeeming qualities.
yeah, exactly. And it's just, you know, he gets himself into these situations and you're just like, I don't care for you. You are the worst of humanity.
And it's all like those old school tropes too of
Mhm.
like, oh, she thinks he's gay, so she
Mhm.
strips in front of him. A totally normal thing to do in front of
Oh,
your
yeah.
gay friends.
Mhm.
Just it's, I don't know, like I said, like
Mhm.
it's one thing to have like, oh, it's a comedy of errors and oh,
Mhm.
what silly misunderstandings, but to have that be like the entire movie and scene after scene after
Mhm.
scene with no relief is just exhausting. Like this is a very
Mhm.
exhausting movie to watch.
You know what I thought was really strange, and I'm a bit perplexed by it. So you've got Terrence Stamp, who plays Jack Taylor the boss, right?
Uh-huh.
Now he's been in quite a few of these silly movies. So he was in Get Smart, and you know a bunch of. I'm sure I'm like 80%
He's
sure
been
he was
on
in.
this podcast before for sure.
Yeah, and so like I look at him, and I think, does he have a very weird sense of humor that we're not just understanding? Because he's got such a stoic face, and you
Yeah.
think that he would be this like very bright, very sort of, you know, articulate man who does Shakespeare on the weekends and these kind of things.
Yeah.
And then he's always in these movies. And I'm just wondering if his face doesn't match his Adam Sandler-esque personality.
I have a feeling it's maybe a bit of both. Like he's maybe
Uh-huh.
not as classy as his facial features imply, but also I mean, because he's not a bad actor. I think he just has fun with it. He's like, okay, so I can either get paid to do this grueling role that will take everything out of me, or I can get paid to do this absolutely ridiculous garbage in half the time.
He's playing the short game rather
Yeah.
than, yeah.
You know
I
what?
can
Not
understand
everybody
that.
aspires to Academy Awards and shit. Sometimes you're like, just like pay me so I can carry on with my yacht addiction. Like, I don't.
Oh, what a good addiction to have. I
Ugh.
mean, what a dream.
I mean, tell that to a yacht addict.
Yeah. I also had it in my mind that Ashton Kutcher was a better actor than this. I don't
To
know
be fair,
why.
this is a young Ashton.
But like,
He's never
I even
been.
I feel like even if I went and watched something, you know, a little later, something maybe like Look Who's Come for Dinner or whatever it's called, the one where he dates an African American woman and goes over to her house and he's the white guy. I just feel like I'm not going to be that impressed, and it just makes me think that we all remember him being a much better actor than he is.
He was very good in that 70s show. I just wonder if he just doesn't struggle with a bad script.
That could be interesting. That could, maybe he is actually more serious than the other guy. Maybe he's looking for the roles on the weekends to do Shakespeare.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, we know he can act. He was in Butterfly Effect. I think he was a good actor in that.
We will have to revisit it and
will
see.
we?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Butterfly Effect is too high.
I know people are like, "Oh my god, it's brilliant," but like,
yeah, I didn't watch it. I haven't watched it yet, so I think
there's also
I
I think an animal cruelty scene in there, which is why I'm like especially traumatized. I anytime an animal's being hurt, I'm out.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. So how did you feel about these owl scenes? These ridiculous.
I mean, it was clearly not a real owl.
Fucking brilliant.
I felt nothing.
Just the way he was holding it, like a fucking baguette. It
exactly.
was so weird.
And any responsible like exotic pet owner would never let some random stranger care for their animal that needed to be medicated and stuff without like at least doing like a thorough demonstration of like,
Mhm.
here's how you feed him, here's
Mhm.
like exactly how to administer his medication. Like there's no way a responsible exotic pet owner would do that. So I mean, look,
Mhm.
I had zero immersion into this movie because
Mhm.
everything I was like, this is ridiculous. Like I don't even understand. I don't think they understand how publishing houses work.
No,
So if
clearly we don't.
you're in the creative department of a publishing house, that doesn't mean you're the one writing the books. It means maybe you can come up with concepts, but mainly you're like doing marketing, right? Like you're helping
Yeah.
market the books, you're creating marketing campaigns, you're maybe helping with like cover design and like
Mhm.
stuff like that. You're not you're not like you don't get to like move to the creative department of your
No,
job
and
and
then
suddenly like be a novelist.
how great would that be
And
if publishing houses actually had like in-house writers? Like that's it. Like you do like a really good book, like J.K. Rowling, for when she did Harry Potter, they were like Penguin was just like, do you want to be an in-house writer and just like come into work every day?
yeah, just write shit. It's bizarre. It's so weird. And it's just like okay, if you want to be a novelist and you work at a publishing house, maybe have a manuscript ready to go.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's the fact that it's just ideas. Like there's
yeah.
no like actual written word. There's nowhere
Uh-huh.
in the script that like in this whole movie we don't know whether Tom is a good writer or not. It's just like he has some ideas for some books
Yes,
and
ideas.
like that's
And
enough.
as any writer knows, the ideas are the easiest part.
Without a question.
I can tell you 5 ideas for a story
Well,
right now, and I guarantee you 4 of them will be garbage if I write them.
to be fair, Simone, I don't think the idea is the easiest bit. I think the self-loathing is the easiest bit.
Oh,
That shit
that's
comes
true.
so naturally. It's just
So
inherent.
easy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh, there it is.
There it is. And then you read a sentence that you've written and you're just like, "Oh yeah, I do suck. Why did
So
I think
fucking dumb.
this was a good idea? Why did I think I could pursue this? I'm a fucking idiot."
um, can I tell you? So I'm also, as you know, a copywriter for my day job.
Mhm.
And we're running a competition where people can win t-shirts for taking a survey.
Uh-huh.
So the line of copy I wrote, brilliant, I get paid to do this shit.
Uh-huh.
This line did get vetoed because it was really bad. Was spill the tea to get a tea.
Oh, Simone.
And I
You are a
genuinely
published writer. You know that, right? Like you have books that are published. Is that that's your maximum overdrive? That's what that is.
girl, I've written some really bad stuff. I like keep a little graveyard of all my ideas where I'm just like, what was I on? I think it was like, winter is coming. Find a
Yes.
job that doesn't treat you like a sweet summer child.
Oh, yes, Simone. That's fucking
And I walked
gorgeous.
away from my laptop.
My day
Anyway, guys,
is
for your copywriting needs, I freelance. So,
Oh, that's so wonderful, Simone. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. That is so fucking beautiful. Oh, goodness me. Yeah, to be fair, like, look, not everything everyone writes is gold. Clearly from this movie, you can tell
sometimes
that.
you have to let the dirty water run out of
Mhm.
the faucet before the clean water starts flowing. So
Exactly.
that's
They
what I
can't
tell
all be
myself
doozies. They can't
as
all
I
be
write a
doozies.
shitty first draft.
So I mean, what did you like about this one?
I walked into this movie expecting a very different movie. Especially, and I think I'm guilty because I saw Tara Reid was in it and I was like, oh, okay, so we know what Tara Reid's gonna do. And I thought what it was gonna be is like a guy goes like on a work trip with his
Okay.
boss or whatever, and the boss's daughter just spends the whole time like trying to seduce him. And he
Right,
like
okay.
wants that promotion or whatever. So he's like, no, and it's like, a little rapey. And then eventually, like, he ends up with the boss's daughter and the boss somehow condones it or some shit. That's what I thought the movie was gonna be.
Okay.
So I was honestly much happier with this format. Like just one
Right.
night, he's very straightforward as a concept. He's
Mhm.
house sitting for his boss to impress the boss's daughter. Things go awry. As a concept, brilliant, great. The execution, ooh,
Yeah,
rough.
not great. Not great. Yeah, no, I completely like
So
that's it. You make a good point. You make a very good point. And to be fair, I really love that scene at the end where sort of everyone is helping each other out. Like,
yeah.
they're actually like some of them are actually pretty decent people and they just want to help this poor, useless, flaccid fish of a man, because
Oh
he just
God,
can't
he's
help
so
himself.
dumb.
He's so dumb. He's so dumb. And that's nice. When everyone comes together like that, that's lovely. Plus, I mean, a soundtrack that is almost exclusively bare naked ladies. Can't go wrong.
I barely even registered the soundtrack. I've got to be honest with you.
How could you not? It's the BML. They're the best.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So would you say
What
that
was
was your
your? Yeah. What was yours?
yeah, I would also say my golden nugget was everyone helping him out, It's the fact that like, Audrey has like kind of come to the point, like come to the realization that it's not his fault. The boss is an asshole. Like everyone sort of like tries to help him and like get everything better, and it's all nice and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't succeed, it doesn't work, but in the end, like everyone tries to help him, which I think
Yeah.
is really nice.
Yeah. That's true.
Would you recommend it at all?
No. Why?
No.
No. No, guys, don't do this.
No, I think I would only recommend it if I wanted someone to think less of me. So, like, if someone really idolizes me and they're just like, oh, Chad is the greatest human being on the planet,
Right.
absolutely amazing,
Right.
nothing he can do wrong, I'd be like, right, what you should go do, watch My Boss's Daughter. And then they'll just be like, oh, right, he has flaws.
You know what? We all need a movie like that in our back pocket.
And now we have it, and we can just pull it out when we need to.
Oh, man.
Goodness. All right. So
Ugh.
take me through a journey of a young lady as she grows up in the limelight.
Boy, oh boy.
This
Okay.
must have really sort of like spoken to you because this is what you had to deal with,
I mean, my dad wasn't the president, so it's a it's a touch different, I would say.
I don't think so. I think this is how I picture your life being like when you went to UCT. This is
You
because
knew
we
me
didn't
at UCT.
only in second year. I didn't know you in your first year. So this is
Oh,
how I
okay.
imagine.
So you think this is what happened to me?
Yeah, and obviously me being on a slightly different campus to you, I didn't like clock that any of
Right,
this was
right.
going on. This is
Yeah.
how I imagine it was. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, on that note. Okay. So, Samantha Mackenzie, played by Katie Holmes, has always been in the limelight from a very young age. Her father, President Mackenzie, spoilers, played by Michael Keaton, he started off as a governor, worked his way up, and by the time she hits 18 years old, he is the president. So she and her dad and her mom, Melanie, played by Margaret Cullen, have always just been a really close unit. And just very involved in governance and stuff. So Samantha is really self-possessed. She's very confident. She's very clever, but she's also pretty lonely because her safety's always been a top concern, and her dad's career has also been a top concern. She's therefore very excited to go to college in another state where she can be a bit more independent and like explore her identity a little bit more. When she's there, she meets her roommate, Mia Thompson, played by Amarie. And she is followed by her two bodyguards, Agent Bach, played by Michael Mahowan, and Agent Dylan, played by Dwayne Adway. It's obviously initially very difficult. Like, she's got a lot of attention on her because she's the first daughter. She struggles to like just be treated like a normal person. But the one person who treats her as a normal person straight off the bat is James Lansom, played by Mark Blucas. He is the RA on her floor, and she immediately has quite the crush on him. After exploding at her dad, saying she can't get anything done because she's surrounded by security all the time, he's like, okay, I'll back off. I'll reduce your security. She continues her sort of romance with James. She has a couple of fights with her roommate, but it all kind of works out. Her roommate's just tired of her getting attention all the time, and Samantha's like, girl, me too. Then at a big party for her father, she brings James as her date. They kiss, and then it turns out that actually he was one of her undercover bodyguards, and that should not have happened.
No.
She feels very betrayed. She acts out a lot, trying to make him upset and jealous. He makes it very clear that he does have feelings for her, but obviously, like, he can't risk his career. They're very sad for a bit. She has to leave college for a semester to help her dad on the final bits of the campaign trail. He becomes president. And then, like, at that point, he's like, actually, your safety is just not a concern to me anymore, that I've won this second term as president. So he basically lets her, like, James is like, I'm not going to be an agent anymore. No, he's still an agent, but she's like allowed to set out on her own in her own little car, no bodyguards. And it's implied that she's going to do some growing up, and maybe she and James will hook up later. Yeah, that's it. The end.
So what is your cliffhanger for this?
Oh God, my cliffhanger has got to be this one. And it's the one where she and James are like sitting in the diner and they're like having a fact off.
Oh my God, yes.
And it sounds like what a dumb person thinks a smart person date is like.
Absolutely. That's what you do for 2 hours, 3 hours on a date.
Just say facts at each other.
Oh, nothing sexier, really. That's what gets the mental arrhythmia
Nothing sexier
going.
than a 24-5-year-old man hitting on an 18-year-old girl.
Yeah, the age difference in this is wildly.
It's never made quite clear, but
no. When they first meet and they're in the same class, I'm like, no, but like you wouldn't
was he in
fall
the
for
army
this guy.
and now he's finishing his degree? Like, what's the vibe? This is a 30-year-old man.
Yeah, without question. And he's like, yeah, I'm a young dude. What's up, my fellow students? And it's like, oh, buddy.
And she's like, wow, he talks just like a normal human boy, a thing that I'm very familiar with.
This is clearly Katie Holmes when she started dating Tom Cruise and doesn't know what a real like human man is anymore.
Can I say, I really actually like Katie Holmes. I like her a lot. She's so beautiful. She always plays such lovely characters. I find her lovely. And I think she does really well in this role. I think she really balances actually pretty well, like this person who knows how to be confident and knows how to address very specific situations, but is still like very insecure and trying to figure out how to navigate everything.
Yeah, absolutely. She does a really good job, and you're absolutely right. I mean, I watched her last year sometime, and I watched her in The Secret, Dare to Dream.
Why?
I know. Why? Because we do this fucking podcast, Simone. That's why.
But we didn't watch it together.
No, we didn't watch it for the podcast, but you know what? I just try to keep ahead of the trends. All right. I'm invested, dog.
Is that the one with Rob Lowe, or am I just like crazy making that up?
No, it might as well have been Rob Lowe. It was just some other, hunky white man who
Rob Lowe lookalike.
Yeah. And she was brilliant in that. She really played the sort of like really hard done by single mom really well, and like you felt for her, and like she does emote very well, and that is also very clear in this film. Can we talk about the true villain of this film, which is her mom?
Her mom is the worst.
Her mom is the devil. Her mom is the actual devil. Like,
it's so weird because she clearly has this really lovely, like, close relationship with her dad. Like, there are all these cute scenes of her, like, and him just hanging out and genuinely like getting along. And I really like, she's always happy to voice her concerns to him, and he never belittles her or talks down to her or is like, I'm your father, you have to do what I say. Like, he's like, hey, here's where I'm coming from. And there's even the scene where she strides into his office in like just a bikini because she's furious, and he doesn't say a word. In fact, he says something like, "Oh, I was gonna wear that exact thing this morning." So funny, so good, and he's not like, "Cover up, for goodness sake." No, he's just like,
the mum is just like, be happy. If you're gonna be here, be here. And like, she's so mean, and like
so mean.
Anything she says to either of them, to the dad or to Katie Holmes's character, like, is just awful. She is just awful to them both the whole time. She's like, when Michael Keaton's character gets the second term as the president, she's just like, when Gerald Ford won the second presidency, his wife said to him, Gerald, I've won you the presidency. See what you can do with it. And now I'm saying that to you. And I'm like, bitch,
Girl.
like, you are not supportive. You are
not
evil.
Michelle Obama, okay?
No, I want to know her backstory. I want to know why she's so mean, what happened in her life to be like, I have to win at every possible opportunity. I have to have the
and why
cushy
she doesn't
role.
give a fuck about her daughter.
Not even a little bit. Like, there is no relationship there whatsoever. It's very clearly sort of the dad and her the whole way through. Like, the mom is just kind of a side piece.
There's like a point where she shows up to talk to Katie Holmes after she's been acting out a bunch. And you think like, oh, thank God, like her mom's here. Like her mom's going to talk to her about her little broken heart and is just going to like, maybe give some relatable experience or something. And her mom's just like, okay, you need to leave college and join us on the campaign trail.
Yes.
I don't care that you didn't choose this. Suck it up. Like I was like, this is...
She is the
damaging.
Devil. Yeah, she is the devil. She might as well have just taken like a giant dump on Katie Holmes's bed and been like, clean that up. Like, she was so mean the whole time. Yeah, she is the villain. And like, you know what? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if she was the one that was just like, James has to, pretend to be a student just to fuck with her head.
So weird. And then shall we talk about like how weird the whole fight with her roommate is and how she gets very slut shamey with her roommate?
For kissing, I just want to add.
Yeah.
It's
like the script was altered last minute because it's clear she wants to say fucking.
And they're just kissing other boys, but the boy that you like, and you're just like, oh, okay.
You're stating your kisses.
Yeah.
Okay. To be fair, my like quote unquote slutty phase around the end of high school and university, I just made out with a lot of dudes. I didn't sleep with any at all. Like, I was a baby. So maybe, maybe that's a little bit more accurate.
Hey, you and I are prudes. We're not that kind of people.
Yeah.
And then not to slut shame people, but like that, but like it does just sound completely ridiculous in this movie. I mean, to be fair, the roommate is just awful in the first act of this movie, where she's just like, I want all the attention. I hate being surrounded by the president's daughter.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, but Sam's also not enjoying it or inviting it.
It's like that weird scene in Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire where Ron just turns into the biggest asshole, and it's just like, why'd you do it? Harry Potter, the fucking whatever. And Harry's just like, oh, I didn't want this. Like, what is up?
Why
with
are we
people
fighting
like
about this? Like,
yeah, exactly.
I agree I shouldn't get all the attention. I don't understand.
Yeah, exactly. And
I also laughed at that scene where she's at the pool party and then it looks like the one guy has a gun and they tackle him. But to be fair, that water gun looks like a real gun a lot. And how dumb are you to bring that to a party where Secret Service agents are going to be?
To be fair, they are university students. And I mean, at the same time as being the smartest people on the planet, they're also the dumbest because they're young. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. Also, what is she studying? Is it English? Like, it's not made very clear. She goes to one poetry class.
Does it matter? I don't think so. I mean, she immediately takes a semester off to help her dad on the campaign trail. So what was the point? Why didn't she just delay starting college by like a semester until like her dad's campaign was over?
Yeah, exactly. You're so very right.
I'm so confused.
Yeah. Exactly. No, you make a very good point. But overall, I mean, I really liked her relationship with James, apart from obviously the weird fact date. Like, they're actually pretty cute together.
Yeah, no, they're very cute. And honestly, the scene where he's talking, like after she's like acted out and stuff and she's so upset and he's like, I want to follow you around all the time. Not because it's my job. That was actually... I think he acted the shit out of that. Like, he did a really good job. And Katie Holmes also just reacts so well to that line. Like, I was like, Oh, my cold heart.
It just beats
little-
once like the Grinch.
Grew 3 sizes that day.
That's so lovely. I had the opposite reaction to that line because I was like,
Oh, really? Were
if
you
she,
like, oh?
yeah, because I was like, if she didn't love him, if she wasn't completely and utterly in love with him, that line would be really creepy. Like,
Yeah,
let
that's
me say
true.
that to you, Simone. Let me just say that to you, knowing that there's no romantic relationship between us whatsoever. Just,
Okay.
I want to follow you around, even if I didn't have to.
Okay, first of all, Chad, you're doing a very sexy voice, actually. So you need to calm down. We have very sensitive listeners. And I know a couple of our listeners have a big old crush on you, so you need to calm down.
Well, listeners, like, take a vote. Was that sexy or was that creepy? Like, you can decide. Because
and when you answer the question, you have to say whether you have a crush on Chad or not.
yeah. Let's get some context going on that. But yeah, I would appreciate that.
Objectively, though, Chad, I don't know what you were trying to do there, because goodness.
Exactly. It's not attractive. Like, it's creepy as fuck. It's weird. Like, that is a weird thing to say to someone.
But I think he could be pretty sure that she still liked him, considering she did everything to try to make him jealous. And she was like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, she was really trying to instigate a fight, which I understand. I mean, he's trying to, like, he's a secret agent. He's like got to be preserved and like on the ball. And then she's just like, nah, I'm gonna go crazy because I want a reaction out of you.
Hasn't dressed just a little bit sluttier if they know they're gonna see an ex.
Oh yeah, of course. You got to pull out all the stops. Otherwise, how do you win the breakup?
How do you win?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's your golden nugget for this one?
My golden nugget for this one, I think it's definitely the fact that she didn't actually end up with him at the end. Like, clearly they've made up. Clearly it's possible for them to be together. Like, it's allowed, but like, it's very much about like her sort of getting her freedom and being able to explore herself and like who she is and what she wants from life a bit more. I don't know where she's supposed to drive off in that Beetle that they give her at the end in her ball gown. Like, let her change first or pack a bag or they're like, oh, we put a cooler box in for you. It's like, great. But still give her a minute.
I would love, I know it was like implied that there was going to be a beer under the sandwich, but can you imagine being a cop just stopping her? She's in her purple ball gown. She's under 21 and she's got a fucking beer in the cooler. Like, it's all just outrageously ridiculous. I also wanted to say, because her like big dream was like to drive off in a beat up Beetle. Yeah. That Beetle was pristine. That was gorgeous. Yeah.
I mean, look, the president's not going to let his daughter drive off in an actual like, accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Michael Keaton would never.
No, he's too much of a good dad. We just look at him. Look at him. He's such a cute dad. He has chocolate cake in the morning with her at night. That was such a sweet scene. I love those.
They're just so cute. Scenes. They're really. He's lovely.
Yeah. So, what's your golden nugget for this one?
You've already asked me, and I told you.
Did you? God, this whiskey is just.
The fact that she doesn't end up with him at the end of the movie.
Good Lord, I don't know where my head is at today.
Well, Chad, what is your golden nugget?
I'm just gonna keep asking you your golden nugget until
I don't know.
Choose. My golden nugget has to be the dad and her relationship. Like, it is just fucking cute. Like, everything they do together, the dancing, their like witty repartee all the time. Like,
especially for like the early 2000s, you wouldn't expect like a father-daughter relationship that looks like that, where he's not like weirdly protective of like her virtue or anything. It's literally, he's like, people want to murder you.
Yeah, which is fair. Like, that's really cute. Like,
yeah, but he trusts her. I think like he knows that she like knows herself and she's a good kid. Like, there's none of that. Yeah, I don't know. I really, it was very surprising to me.
Absolutely. Like, there's that really cute scene where like they're talking about their domestic policy, that general broad term.
Yeah.
And he asks for Samantha's opinion, and it's like, oh, like obviously you're just like doing this for the show, but even so, like that's really
Yeah.
cute. Like, good on you. Well done. Yeah. Would you recommend it?
You know what? Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
Wow. I did not expect
I
that.
told you my heart grew 3 sizes. I don't know what to tell you. Like I'm embarrassed.
Who are you? Who is this feeling
Who is
person?
she?
What is she doing? I told you, it's because
cute,
this movie is basically your story. It's a biopic for you.
Okay, no, not at all. Not in any way.
Did you not date your Secret Service agent? Like,
I didn't. Okay. Did not have a Secret Service agent. The countries that I lived in with my parents, we didn't need a security guard. Obviously, when they lived in Ethiopia, they did need security guards. But yeah, I did not ever need a bodyguard because I wasn't very important. But I did have to go to a lot of dinners and other random events that my dad got invited to. I went to things like, we went to the table tennis, handicap table tennis world championship.
That's awesome.
And we like all kinds of random shit. We went to stuff like that. It was very cool. It was very fun. Like basically if there's a South African involved in like an art exhibit or in a performance or at like a school or whatever, like we just went.
That is awesome. That is
Yeah,
really cool,
dope.
dude. That's really cool.
I'm very worldly. Not that you'd know it from this podcast.
I think the byline for this podcast is definitely, "Oh, how the mighty have fallen."
Sorry, Dad. I know he listens.
I think both of us were so much more interesting before this podcast ever happened.
I have the worst taste in movies now because the bar is so low.
Absolutely, you're so right. It's really
I
disgusting.
never have time to watch like the good movies anymore.
And do you feel, I don't know about you, but like I just don't feel like watching the good movies anymore. Like I just feel that's like a really fucking taxing thing to do.
Yeah, no, I love trash. I'm on a steady diet of trash now, and if I stop, I'll die.
Absolutely. We know the heart attack's coming, but god damn it, we're gonna ride it straight to hell.
Ride it, Donahue.
Right, yeah, I wouldn't recommend this. It's fine, it happened, it's cute, but it's very uneventful. It's not something that I feel, to be fair, it's also not my demographic. It's not made for me. Like, this movie was very clearly not made for me. Even as a bisexual man, like, this is just very clearly not my thing.
Neither love interest did it for you. Neither
No.
Katie Holmes nor what's his face.
Like, what's his face would have been fine if it had been age appropriate, but the fact that he is clearly a 35-year-old
creepy.
man, yeah, exactly. That kind of just didn't give me what I needed. Yeah.
Also, we both know she's gonna go on that journey of discovery. She's gonna be like, oh wow, I really did just fall for the first male that I had access to.
Yeah.
And no, he's not my type at all.
Exactly.
She's gonna date a law school student who reminds her a little bit of her dad. I'm telling you now.
Is that where you think it's gonna go?
That's my prediction.
I think she's gonna date the comp sci major with the thinnest mustache.
I mean, she'll definitely date him through college, but she won't end up with him.
Oh no, she won't end up with him. But like, because he's like super toxic. He's always asking her for like beer money, and he's always like, he doesn't know how the washing machine works and things like that, and she has to help him. So, but like, she's there to fix him throughout college, and then after college, she's like, wow, this was toxic.
Everybody has to go through at least one "I can fix him" relationship. So
absolutely. Well, gosh, Simone, thank you so much for RomCom subcategory daughter week. This is a real interesting choice.
Sometimes you have to look at romantic comedy through the lens of father-daughter relationships.
Which is probably the weirdest sentence that you've ever said, I would think. Who knows?
You have to take a holistic approach to romantic comedy.
This is really, in the third year of this podcast, we've really taken the nuance to another level. This is the deep shit now, y'all.
You could also tell that I do not read or write romance because I'm like, a holistic view.
Yeah. Look, romance
I
is
don't
easy.
know.
Person meets person, they fuck, and that's the end of it. Like,
What's
everyone's
sexy?
happy.
What's romantic? I don't know.
Exactly. So, what is your gratitude for this week, then, Simone? Let's turn it to the happiness.
You know what? Because we're doing RomCom week, I'll say Rudy is my gratitude.
Aww.
He's, we've been together for over 5 years now, and
Yeah,
I'm
man.
just still very happy. I laugh and we're silly together every single day, and it truly feels like I live with my best friend. It's so fun.
That's
so I'm
sweet.
very grateful.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, that's so lovely. You guys are a really cute couple, and like, you know what? I'm just really happy to
adorable.
see you so happy. And yeah, like I'm just so happy for you, and it's an awesome relationship, and you guys are really good together, and yeah, it's really lovely.
That's my little gratitude. What's yours?
Well, I mean, fuck, like if I don't see Georgette now, like then I'm just gonna look like the asshole, right?
Especially after you've tried to seduce half of our audience, so I think you just need to be like, oh, but I'm taken.
That's not my intention. The intention was to creep everyone out. This is why I'm perpetually single all the time, is because I try the wrong things. I try to be creepy and I come across sexy.
And if you tried to come across sexy,
it
you'd have
would
come
be the
across
creepiest.
creepy.
It would have been the creepiest. I think I'm just really grateful for my car, to be honest. You know what? Like, with moving out from my parents' house, like my gym is a little bit further away, but and it would have been a major hassle without my car. But honestly, I'm just really happy to have that easy transportation. And it's like the little things like that, being able to just like hop into my car. I can now go somewhere, and rather than having to like take 3 buses and a train, like it just makes the world of difference. And yeah, I'm really appreciative of that,
For sure.
Goddamn, that car. Oh, that poor baby. I mean, my girlfriend, like I said at the top of the podcast, we're long distance, so she lives 3 hours away. So that little car, basically every 2 weeks has to do a journey, and it just trucks along, and I'm really proud of it. I'm really fucking proud of that car.
Just get through a bunch of podcasts or audiobooks.
I do. I finished the second Lord of the Rings in like 3 weeks because of that.
Wow,
these
impressive.
journeys. Yeah,
I've got a bunch of audiobook recommendations if you want.
Please do, because I'm listening to The Hunger Games, the first book, and it's not being done by someone with a good voice. Like it is.
No,
not
if I recall, I didn't love the audiobooks. No, I've got a couple that you'll really enjoy.
Please do send them to me, and our listeners as well. Please do send those to me. I would really appreciate if you've got any good book recommendations. Simone will tell you where to reach us at the end of the podcast. But before we do that, Simone, beyond doubt, I hope that you have something, because if you don't, you are going to fucking hate me. Like I'm warning you. Like you better have something.
Oh God. I mean, I can come up with something. Off the top of my head. I'm so scared now. I thought what might be. Oh God.
Do you want to try it?
Just say it. Just say it.
Just say it.
Just say it. Just say it.
Next week, if you're up for it, and I'm 100% allowing a veto in this situation.
Okay.
What if we did animated phenomena movies, aka the first Pokemon movie and the first Digimon movie?
Oh no, that sounds fun. That sounds nostalgic. That sounds cool. Oh, yeah. Why not?
Okay. I thought you were gonna like hate that. I thought that was gonna be like a much more dramatic reveal than it was.
I used to really like Pokemon as a kid, and I liked Digimon too. So we can totally do that. You must just tell me exactly which movies, so I don't watch the wrong one, because there have been many.
Yeah, to be fair, the first Pokemon movie has been retitled as Pokemon the First Movie. So I mean, that's really great.
Sure,
I guess. But yes, no, I genuinely thought that was going to be a much more dramatic reveal than it was. Like I was
it goes to show that we continue to surprise each other as co-hosts.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. 5 years of knowing each other, 6 years of knowing each other, 3 years of doing this podcast, and I'm still pleasantly surprised.
You're so welcome. I'm glad I could do that for you.
Well, thank you. So yes, I mean, to be fair, this will be our technically last random theme of the year, because after this,
Yeah.
it is the November monthly roundup and then straight into Christmas. So it's all Christmas themed. So going out
I'm
with a
so
bang,
excited.
y'all.
I'm so excited for Christmas. You have no idea.
Simone, when you sent me the TikTok revealing the third in the Christmas swap films, I think I died a little of happiness.
I also love that you said Christmas swap instead of Christmas switch, because now it sounds like there's a British off-brand version of the Christmas switch.
like Chums.
Like Chums. Or a foot cycle.
Yeah. The Christmas swap featuring 3 Catherine Tates rather than Vanessa Hudgens.
I'd watch it too.
I would watch the crap out of that.
As long as Michael Sheen is in it.
Yes, of course. He
plays the king.
I would love
with
that.
his Welsh accent. He plays an English king with a Welsh accent.
But his character is as infuriating as Wesley Snipes from 30 Rock. Just the best character in the world.
He's not the villain. He's just very annoying.
Exactly. But yes, I'm so glad that you're on board with Pokemon and Digimon. That makes me really, really happy.
Yeah,
I'm so happy. I'll come up with a better theme name next week, I promise, than fucking kids animated phenomenon movies, because that was really loose. But yes, well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. You guys rock our socks, and we hope that you are getting into the Christmas spirit. I know it's still very early, but you know what? It's starting to feel a bit Christmassy where I am, and I hope it is for you guys too. So please do get in touch with us. Tell us what you're going to be watching this Christmas. How do you feel about Digimon? How do you feel about Pokemon? Were you ever team Digimon rather than team Pokemon? And please do give me audiobook recommendations. I am running out of podcasts to listen to on the way up and down from my girlfriend. So please do. And where can the people do that, Simone?
You can send Chad recommendations on Facebook or Instagram, and Fresh Tomatoes Podcast on Twitter at Fresh Tomatoes MP. If you have like a whole ass list plus reviews, you can email them to us at freshtomatoespodcast@gmail.com.
There you have it. And if you do have reviews, I expect nothing less than 250 words, please.
Yes.
And as we say at the end of every episode, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Goodbye.